2025 is in the book, so today we're going to go over every main roster championship who I thought the best champion of 2025 was for each individual title. Now, I'm doing this all from memory, so if I forget a title reign, well, that's on WWE because you booked such a lackluster title reign that this dude right here, the dude that remembers vividly Lex Luger versus Tatanka. All right, if I can remember that feud from way back when, but I can't remember a title reign from just a couple months ago, that's because you booked a very bad title reign, all right? I remember Brooklyn Brawler and the Red Roosters feud, all right? Kama Mustafa and Undertaker. IRS melting down the urn so Kama Mustafa has a gold chain, all right? So, like, yes, that's, I'm going off memory here, so let's see what I can do and I can remember. Let's start off with the U.S. title for the women, all right? We've had, I think, 3 champions this year. Chelsea Green, Zelina Vega, and Julia. Unfortunately, Zelina Vega, her title reign, like, not memorable at all. Julia's title reign, very, very poor title reign. These are very talented women, but their title reigns sucked. And Chelsea Green, I think she is just amazing and awesome, and she would flourish with or without the title, but when she has the title, she just, it's a joy to watch. Chelsea Green, she's one of the people that, like, she didn't have to defend it all the time to still make that championship relevant. Chelsea Green, definitely the best U.S. champion for the women's division of all time, not just 2025. So let's do the men's U.S. title. Men's U.S. title actually might have a case for the strongest title of all of 2025. That or the women's intercontinental title, actually. I would say these are your 2 strongest titles. Maybe the women's world title too. Maybe. But let's just talk the men's U.S. title. This one, if you believe it or not, Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe, he walked into 2025 with it. It was Shinsuke, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, and then finally we had Carmelo Hayes. I'd love to put Carmelo Hayes as my number 1 guy, but I can't. He literally won it just right before the ball dropped, so it's too early to tell what his title reign is gonna look like. I wish LA Knight or Solo or Jacob or Shinsuke, but all their title reigns kind of sucked. Honestly, it kind of sucked. LA Knight had a decent title reign with the U.S. title in 2024, but his 2025 title reign sucked. It was nothing to write home about. And Jacob Fatu, I was thinking when he won it at WrestleMania, this was going to be like, this was going to be his moment to shine. He was going to go on a Gunther-like run, but then he loses to Solo. I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I was like, that's not a great idea. But then Solo started making this comeback with his personality. I'm like, wow, Solo, okay. Suddenly I wanted Solo to win it. And then he does win it. And then they do that thing with Solo where the moment he gets good, they pull back on him. And that's when Sami Zayn started mopping the floor with him. I hated that Sami Zayn completely decimated an entire faction, kind of like when Damian Priest did it to Judgment Day last year. That's what Solo did, or that's what Sami did. But I got to admit, even though I hated how Sami won the title reign itself was actually amazing. That's what started the U.S. Open Challenge. Now, Ilya Dragunov will also have done the U.S. Open Challenge, but to me, I feel Sami's was better. Sami was like, one, we had more of an emotional connection to Sami. Whether you loved him or you hated him, we knew more about Sami from his years on the main roster. And Ilya Dragunov, while this did serve to probably get a lot of eyes on him and introduce him to a lot of people, though, I think that Sami's opponents were stronger. And I'm going to go with Sami Zayn as the best U.S. champion, with Ilya Dragunov coming in second. Okay, so let's do the women's SmackDown champion. Nia Jax, she only had it for 1 week, and then we went to Tiffany Stratton and then Jade Cargill. Nia Jax, even though it was just 1 week, she lost it. She lost it in her first defense in 2025. Plus, even if we go off of 2024, I think since last October, she was on a losing streak during her title reign. I think she had lost like 6 or 8 times. It was like some ridiculous number where they kept jobbing out Nia, and I just kept scratching my head saying, why are we jobbing out Nia? She's like the champion. Jade Cargill, all year long, I was itching for a heel champion Jade Cargill, and when finally the itch got satisfied, well, now I'm itching for a good title reign for opponents, because she got the championship and hasn't really done nothing with it. She looks the part. I think she has the right attitude, but they keep feeding her Meacham and BFAB. Or, Elba Fire as well. Like, literally, she's the top champion, and she's fighting with the entire undercard. I don't think that's cool. I know that everybody's in the tag team division, but maybe just bring one of those tag teams so Jade could have a competitor. So that means I'm going with Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton as the best women's champion. I'll be honest though, unless she was fighting Nia Jax, she wasn't doing much. Yeah, she had a match against Trish Stratus also, but honestly, I don't think her title reign has been that great. Other than her one feud with Charlotte Flair, I think Tiffany Stratton's title reign has been pretty forgettable as well. But that said, she did have a good feud with Charlotte Flair. Now, the funny thing about that is, you know how I was just saying that it was Creative's fault that Jade's title reign has kind of sucked? Well, the only reason why Charlotte and Tiffany's feud was good was because Tiffany at one point went off script. She decided, nope, not going to do what Creative wanted, and then she went off script, and so did Charlotte. So the only reason why Tiffany's title reign is number one is because she went against Creative. So maybe the wrestlers need to start doing that. Let's go over to the men's world title. The world title, that was, let's see who we had. We walked in with Gunther. It went Gunther, Jey Uso, went back to Gunther, then CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and now back to CM Punk. Who was the best champion? CM Punk, he only held it for a little bit the first time, and then the second time, has he defended his title at all? Jey Uso, honestly, Jey Uso was all over the place. He had a lot of challengers vying for his championship, but I think at the end of the day, his feuds weren't even I don't know, it didn't even seem like he was the main focus of what was going on at WWE. It was like Seth Rollins and the Vision were feuding with CM Punk and kind of saying we'll get to Jay when we get to him. So he didn't feel important once he won that championship, and his only title defense was against Logan Paul. Seth, the way he won the championship, the ruse of the century, cashing in the Money in the Bank after faking an injury, that was great. That was a good way to get the title, but he didn't get to defend it at all. He did win the champion versus championship against Cody. I think he would have. I think he would have been the number one. He would have been the top champion of 2025 of the world champion for me. But Gunther, he retired Bill Goldberg as champion, so that'll always have a special place in my heart because I hate Bill Goldberg, and I'm glad that we're leaving him in 2025. Hopefully nobody ever mentions his name again in 2026. And then the feud with Jey Uso, right? Yeah, that was way too long drawn out. But when he attacked Jimmy Uso, that lives rent free in my head. He was smearing the blood on his chest and all these things. I think Gunther did a great job presenting himself as a huge threat in that moment. So honestly, I think I'm going to give it to Gunther, but Gunther's title reign wasn't even that strong either. I think he gets it kind of like in the same vein I gave it to Tiffany Stratton, is just like he was the best, but 2025 hasn't had like, I don't know, the champions. Like when I'm like looking back doing this video, like I'm looking at these champions and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Nothing really stood out for me, but okay, so Gunther, he's your number one guy. We can do now the tag teams. Let's do the tag teams. We got the women's tag team. Let's do the women's tag team. This division's been strong, actually, for the most part throughout this year. Let's see, who do we have? I think we went in with Naomi and Bianca, which was a good tag team. I think Bianca and Jade was a better tag team, but Naomi had taken over. The real story comes from the fact that it's revealed that Jade was attacked by Naomi. So that's where a lot of the juice comes from in this tag team right here. But they were all right. But the Bianca's strong title reign was in 2024. They lose it to Liv and Raquel, who decent, but nothing fancy, who then lose it to Becky, the best in the world, and that's not just me saying it, that's Sports Illustrated, and Lyra. Then who did they lose it to there? I forget who they lost it to. Did they lose it back to Liv? And did they lose it back to Liv and Raquel? Yes, they did. They lost it like the next night. And then I think that's when Charlotte and Alexa won it from Raquel, and I can't remember who they won it from. So then we had Charlotte and Alexa, and now we're with the Kabuki Warriors. Who are your tag teams of the year? Ooh, the Kabuki Warriors have done the best work. They've done the best work. Now, strength-wise, they've been booked a little weak in that they did just lose a non-title match to Lash and Nia. But I will also say Charlotte and Alexa, their character work has been pretty decent too in the rehabilitation of Charlotte Flair. And they had a strong title reign. So this one's a tough one. I could go with either the Kabuki Warriors or Charlotte and Alexa. Personally, I like the Kabuki Warriors better. I love Asuka and even Kairi right now. I love the character work of Asuka. As a solo star, I think Asuka would be better than Charlotte and Alexa. But as a tag team with an actual personality, a tag team with a personality, plus the strong title defenses, I'm going the best tag team women's champions were Charlotte and Alexa, with a close second with the Kabuki Warriors. Raw tag team division, Viking Raiders, New Day, Judgment Day, and then AJ Styles. AJ Styles, Dragon Lee. Viking Raiders, I know some guys and gals, you like them, they're big dudes, but I do not connect with them whatsoever. New Day, I absolutely love the New Day, but I can't deny that their title reign kind of sucked. I personally just love the New Day and their character, and I feel the ball was completely dropped on them after that amazing heel turn last year. But when they finally got the title, like, I'm really thinking about it, I don't remember much of their title reign. I really don't. I know of them in general. I remember them trying to get Penta's move band and the giant hat of Xavier Woods, the thank God, the New Day, and just saying you have diabetes. They were just hilarious and a bright spot to every Monday for me. But as tag team champions, that's where we're going here. Not who's my favorite tag team, but who was the best tag team champions. So, I don't know. The Judgment Day is definitely not getting it. The Judgment Day would win the title, and then it would just be a prop to them to say, oh, we got titles. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing with the title. So then it becomes AJ Styles, Dragon Lee. They had strong matches. But I didn't understand why they were a tag team. And now that they lost the title, they're just going to go their separate ways. They did defend, though. They had good matches. AJ Styles is always a joy to watch, and and Dragon Lee did elevate. It's between the New Day, literally because of their character work and the fact that they are a cohesive tag team, and AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Championship-wise, yes, they are better, but WWE is more than just championships. So championship-wise, it's AJ and Dragon Lee, but New Day as a tag team. But they just didn't do anything that I really recall. This pains me. I'm going to give it to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee as the Raw Tag Team of the Year. But I don't want to. The Usos are also champions right now, but too new. It's right before the end of the year. Doesn't count. So now let's go to SmackDown. Let's go to SmackDown's Tag Team division. Getting hot here, so let me... I'm all hot now because I had to make that decision between New Day and AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. The SmackDown Tag Team division, honestly, compared to what it was last year to where it is now, or maybe even the beginning of the year, but I don't know. What did we have? We had, the Motor City Machine Guns, then DIY, Street Profits, then to Street Profits to the Wyatts. The Wyatts should be, but they haven't really done nothing with the titles. Street Profits, again, I don't remember anything really that they did other than when Montez Ford grabbed the prosthetic leg. But that was the match in which he won the title. So I like how he won the title, but that doesn't justify a good title reign. DIY. It helped me. Their title reign helped me started liking Tommaso Ciampa because he would just hold that title so much. And Motor City Machine Guns, they're just. I love their TNA run circa 2008, but they have not really landed in WWE in my opinion. This one's tough. The SmackDown division, that's the problem. We had a lot of banger matches with the SmackDown tag team division, but we didn't have a lot of storyline. You got the Wyatts. They did win that TLC or whatever it was at SummerSlam, but they just don't feel like I forget that they're champions. But Street Profits didn't do anything memorable, but no one did. And it's no fault of anybody. They're great, but there's no stories. There just aren't any stories here. Shoot, I'll give it to the Wyatts. At least they intimidated everybody. They got the whole tag team division scared. So give it to the Wyatts, but I don't wanna. So now let's do, what do we got left? We got the Raw Women's Championship. That's gonna go, who did we go with? We walked in with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, then to Naomi to Stephanie Fakir. Liv Morgan was an excellent champion, but her excellent championship run was in 2024, so not her. Then Rhea Ripley, her title reign wasn't anything special to me. I think she had one defense and then she lost it to Io right before WrestleMania. So her title defense, great year for Rhea. She stayed at the top, but no pun intended with Mommy Otis on top. But she champion wise, it wasn't that great. Io Sky had the match of the night with Rhea and Bianca at WrestleMania for just an awesome, amazing title win. And then she did nothing. She didn't defend the title one time. She had two matches after WrestleMania, one non-title and one tag team match, and then she just was backstage the entire time. So her title reign, lackluster, sucked, just like Jade Cargill's. It's not because of the wrestler, but because they were given nothing to do. And then we go Naomi. Spoiler alert, I'm definitely giving it to Naomi. But, so we'll jump Naomi real quick and talk Stephanie Fakir. Why not Stephanie? Stephanie's held it for a minute. She's actually defended it as well, but has she really defended it against anybody worth note? She did beat Tiffany in the champion versus champion, but Nikki Bella is an all-time great, a legend, right? But we haven't treated her like that since returning. And so, I don't know. Stephanie Fakir has not been in any real storylines. and the people she's beat has been mid-card. Higher than Jade Cargill's opponents, but still mid-card nonetheless. So Stephanie, not really doing it, but Naomi, just the way she carried the belt. She was able to carry the belt kind of like Chelsea Green does or Becky Lynch. Her personality made that championship feel super important. Plus the fact that she has that awesome cash-in to interrupt one of the best matches of the year, Io and Rhea. She wins on such an amazing way. Then she goes to SummerSlam, and she's the underdog, because of course she's going to lose to Io or Rhea, and she wins, and she's just a joy to watch. I think Naomi stepped up and made that belt feel very, very like the center of attention, the center of Raw. It was good stuff. She did get pregnant and had to relinquish, but I do feel that for the month or two that she was champion, she was the best champion, because when Io had it, Io was kind of pushed into the background. Stephanie has it, and she's not really, she's like the middle of the card. But Naomi, her personality forced you to pay attention to her. You couldn't look elsewhere. She was the center of attention. The other women, when they held the titles, doesn't feel like the center of Raw. The Women's Intercontinental title, that will go to Becky Lynch. Of course it's going to Becky Lynch. We walked in with Lyra. We went Lyra, Becky, Maxine Dupree. Lyra's championship, honestly, I don't think Lyra needed Becky to elevate her, and that's no shade. Sometimes you just need someone to help you along and connect with the audience, and that's what Becky did. Lyra was just a very she was okay at best champion, but forgettable. Her biggest accomplishment as champion will be the fact that she was the first. But Becky, amazing, awesome. Now, you might say, well, what about Maxine Dupree? Maxine Dupree, this has been great for Maxine, and she actually is a pretty decent Intercontinental champion, but it's been a very short title reign compared to Becky's long title reign. Plus, Becky has made the Intercontinental Championship feel like the most important title in WWE. Honestly, she has. Not just the women's division, but in general. Becky has done just such amazing work with that Intercontinental title, elevating it, character work, all these things. It feels important to her. She loses it. She wants it back. She's elevated Lyra and Maxine Dupree in the process. Becky, with that belt, absolutely the best Intercontinental champion, but I would argue the best champion of 2025, period. Any division. Now we can go to the male Intercontinental belt, and that's Dominik Mysterio, Dirty Dom. It has gone from Braun Breaker to Dirty Dom to John Cena, back to Dirty Dom. I wish I could give it to John Cena just because, I'm not going to be able to give many more props to John Cena after this year. There's not many opportunities to say to put John Cena on a thumbnail or in a video because he's retired. But as much as I love John Cena's little title reign, he's not the best. And Braun Breaker, I mean, he was a fine champion, but he didn't really set the world on fire as champion either. So it gave him something on his resume, so it did its job. But Dominik Mysterio is the guy, the one that made the Intercontinental belt feel important. I wish there were some more storylines here, but he did have the feud with AJ Styles and John Cena, John Cena's last feud. Plus, when he won the title and the crowd just supporting him, and he had to run back to the ring and pose and everything. I think Dirty Dom has done a great job with the Intercontinental title, honestly. This is not a pity. This is not like the Wyatts when I'm like, well, nobody else had anything really going on, so I'll give it to Dirty Dom, even though there was only 3 people. I could make an argument for John Cena, actually. I think Dirty Dom was probably maybe the third best champion, honestly, of 2025. You can tell that he cares about it. I love a champion who cares about their title. So now, let's see. I think the only title left then is the Undisputed. The Undisputed. Only 2 champions for this one. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and then it went back to Cody Rhodes. So who's it gonna be? I'm giving it to John Cena. Finally, I get to do one last time for John Cena. Didn't get to do the IC, but I'm doing the top belt. Let's see, why not Cody? Cody's held it for the majority of the year, but honestly, hasn't really been that interesting. Like, Kevin Owens made it interesting in the beginning of the year, and Drew McIntyre has made it interesting in the tail end of the year, but like, Cody Rhodes himself, I've never really fully been invested when Cody has the title. He just doesn't, I don't know, he's too vanilla maybe or something. I'm a dude that loves like Superman and Batman, Boy Scouts of the superhero community. I love a good babyface superhero. But Cody Rhodes for some reason is just bland to me. Unless he has someone across the ring that really draws out that fire and passion. But that tells me that it's his opponents that are making Cody interesting and not the other way around. And I do get that a good opponent, that you want a Joker. Like, Batman wouldn't be as interesting if he didn't have a Joker to face off again. But at the end of the day, when the Joker's not around, Batman is still interesting. But Cody just doesn't seem interesting when he doesn't have like his Joker or his Bane across the ring from him. Now, he did get kind of cool when he was like mouthing off to Nick Aldis, but maybe, I don't know, a little too late in that aspect. But John Cena, on the other hand, while yes, his title reign did happen during his heel turn, it was still interesting. The heel turn was a giant waste of time and shouldn't have happened, based on the fact that they only did it to create a moment to get a pop, and they had no long-term plans for it. It should not have happened, but in spite of itself, it was still entertaining to see John Cena with the title. That's when he went up against Randy Orton. He cut the pipe bomb against CM Punk. A lot of interesting stuff happened with John Cena and his title reign, plus his last match against Cody Rhodes as a babyface. It was good stuff. It was honestly good stuff. I was 100% more interested in John Cena with the title, heel or not, than I have been with Cody Rhodes. So I am going with the Never Seen 17 as your 2025 champion, best undisputed champion. I think that's it. Did I forget any? I know I went a little out of order, but nah, I think that's it. So there you go, boys. There you go, girls. Tell me in the comments below who you feel your top champions were in WWE. And goodbye, 2025. Thanks for all the fish. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year.